What if the most powerful medicine cabinet you'll ever own isn't in a pharmacy, but in your backyard? Right now, in the middle of summer, there's a small window where certain medicinal plants thrive when you put them in the ground, and most gardeners miss it completely. July isn't too late. For these 10 plants, it's actually the best time. Stick around, because plant number 7 is one almost nobody plants correctly, and it could change how you stock your home herb garden for the rest of the year. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're covering 10 medicinal plants that you can, and should, plant in July across most of the United States. These aren't random picks. Each one is chosen because July's warmth, daylight, and soil temperature actually work in your favor for these specific species. I'll tell you what each plant is traditionally used for, how to plant it, and what to watch out for. Let's get into it. Quick context before the list. Most of the continental U.S., zones 5 through 9, has warm soil and long daylight hours in July. That's perfect for heat-loving herbs that would actually struggle if planted in cool spring soil. It's also the right time to take cuttings from established perennials and to start cool season herbs indoors for a full transplant. So this list mixes direct sow plants, transplant starts, and propagation projects, all timed for July specifically. 1. Holy Basil. Holy Basil is a heat-loving annual in most U.S. climates, and July's warm soil is ideal for it. In Ayurvedic tradition, Tulsi has been used for centuries as an adaptogen, a plant believed to help the body manage stress. Modern research is still exploring these effects, so think of it as traditional use, not a guaranteed remedy. Plant it in full sun, well-draining soil, and water consistently. It'll be ready for fresh leaf tea by late summer. 2. Ashwagandha. This is probably the most underrated plant for July planting. Ashwagandha is native to dry, warm regions of India and the Middle East, which means it actually prefers hot weather and tolerates drought once established. Traditionally used in Ayurvedic medicine for stress and sleep support, it needs a long, warm growing season to develop its root, which is the part traditionally used. Planting in spring in many U.S. zones doesn't give it enough heat early on. July sidesteps that problem entirely. 3. Echinacea purple coneflower. Echinacea is a U.S. native perennial, which makes it incredibly forgiving. July is a great time to put in nursery starts because the plant establishes its root system before fall dormancy. It's one of the most studied herbs for immune support, particularly around cold and flu season, though research results have been mixed. Full sun, average soil, and it'll come back every year once established. 4. Peppermint. Peppermint spreads aggressively, so July cuttings are a smart way to start it in a contained pot rather than the open ground. Snip a 4-inch piece from an established plant, strip the lower leaves, and root it in water or moist soil. Peppermint tea has long been used to ease digestive discomfort, and peppermint oil is one of the more researched essential oils for that purpose. Keep it in partial shade during peak summer heat. 5. Lemon balm. A member of the mint family, lemon balm tolerates July heat well and can be direct sown or transplanted now. Traditionally used as a calming tea, it's also one of the easier herbs for beginners. It's hard to kill. Give it some afternoon shade in hotter climates so the leaves don't scorch. 6. Yarrow. Yarrow is drought-tolerant once established, making it a great July planting choice in dry or hot regions. Historically, it's been used topically and in folk medicine for minor cuts and skin support, though it should never replace proper wound care. It's also a pollinator magnet, so your garden benefits either way. 7. Elderberry, from cuttings. Here's the one most people get wrong. You don't plant elderberry from seed in July. You propagate it from softwood cuttings taken from a healthy, already growing bush. July is actually the ideal month for this because the new growth is flexible enough to root but mature enough to survive. Elderberry, specifically the cooked or properly prepared berries and flowers, has a long history of traditional use for cold and flu symptoms. Important safety note: raw, unripe elderberries and other parts of the plant contain compounds that are toxic, so they must be properly identified and prepared before any use. Never consume them raw. 8. German chamomile. Chamomile actually prefers cooler temperatures, so July's role here is prep, not full bloom. Start seeds indoors or in a shaded seed tray in July so you have strong transplants ready for the cooler days of late August and September. It's one of the most widely used calming teas in the world, traditionally associated with relaxation and sleep support. 9. Calendula. Calendula can struggle in peak July heat, But if you live in a region with afternoon shade or you start it in containers you can move, it's worth it for a full bloom. The petals are traditionally used in salves and balms for skin support. It's also edible and a great companion plant that detests certain garden pests. 10. Aloe vera, from offsets. If you live in zones 9 to 11, July is a fine time to plant aloe directly outside. Everyone else, aloe is best grown in a pot you can bring indoors before frost. Propagate it from pups, the small offset plants that grow at the base of a mature aloe. The gel inside the leaves has a long history of topical use for minor skin irritation, but it should never be used on deep wounds or serious burns without medical guidance. So to recap, holy basil, ashwagandha, echinacea, peppermint, lemon balm, yarrow, elderberry, chamomile, calendula, and aloe vera. Some go straight in the ground today. Some need a shaded start, and a couple, like elderberry and aloe, are best propagated rather than seeded. If you found this useful, drop a comment telling me which one you're planting first. I read every single one. Subscribe if you want more practical, no-fluff gardening content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss next week's video. And remember, these are traditional and historical uses. Always talk to a doctor or qualified herbalist before using any plant medicinally, especially if you're pregnant, nursing, or on medication. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.